Reiner's thrown out 21% of base stealers this year. For Ohtani. Great to see that.
There he goes. Pitches a strike, throw in, and a strong tag as well.
Shohei's not moving.
Yep. Ohtani walked in the second.
That's exactly why Joe Madden likes to put.
And Madden remarked, so he
Try to sneak one back inside.
hit hard, but at Cabrera in the second, single, and scored a run in the first. Ohtani 0-1.
Some pretty good movement on his 97.
That was in on the hands, and that fastball inside corner. Ohtani didn't like it. It looked 1-1. Adele, left field. That ball's deep. That ball's gone. Grand slam. The kid did it. And the Angels grab the lead.
Say it is so. Joe Adele. Grand slam. And he crushed it.
406. Suzuki now. Suzuki, left field. Castro back. That one's gone. Back. A slam and a solo.
Wow. Some noise. Back to back.
Twice. 1 for 3.
Grand slam. Kurt Suzuki goes aloha.
Fastball up. I think if Soto were to and Ohtani walks. 9 walks issued by the Tigers. Fletcher, and that gets under the glove of Scope. And that's going to mean another run as Lagares comes.
Should be a base hit and an RBI.
Scope.
18. Caught stealing.
Ball swings and misses, and a long inning. Fletcher at second base. Jared Walsh slotted third. Jose Iglesias is in the cleanup spot. Jonathan Scope up the middle. Grayson Griner doing the
base for Miguel Cabrera.
Ohtani smacks that one right into center field. That's a good way to start the series.
Well, that was.
Now he has to contend with Cabrera, who's one of the great pranksters. Hunter Wendelstedt behind the plate. There he goes. Breaking ball low. Tag high. Safe. And Ohtani, a little slow to get up. Looks to be okay.
They were pointing in there to take a look at it. Center field.
420 feet. He is safe. Ohtani. And
looked like they might have gotten him. It's pretty close.
A.J. Hinch. And he's safe.
Wow, that's
the challenge. And Ohtani is still alive. 3-1. Drives that ball into center. Diving, and he won't get it. Ohtani around third. It's the Angels on the board.
Well, how crazy this game is. It goes from you think maybe they picked him off at Marsh. Picks up his Marsh. On base. And now
Kia player profile time. Fastball in. Ohtani hit. If you've just joined us, good. Not enough to overturn. And he walks.
Reiner's thrown out 21% of base stealers this year. For Ohtani. Great to see that.
There he goes. Pitches a strike, throw in, and a strong tag as well.
Shohei's not moving.
Yep. Ohtani walked in the second.
That's exactly why Joe Madden likes to put.
And Madden remarked, so he
Try to sneak one back inside.
hit hard, but at Cabrera in the second, single, and scored a run in the first. Now Tony 0-1.
Some pretty good movement on his 97.
That was in on the hands, and that fastball inside corner. Otani didn't like it. It looked 1-1. Adele, left field. That ball's deep. That ball's gone. Grand slam. The kid did it. And the Angels grab the lead.
Say it is so. Joe Adele. Grand slam. And he crushed it.
406. Suzuki now. Suzuki, left field. Castro back. That one's gone. Back. A slam and a solo.
Wow. Some noise. Back to back.
Twice. 1 for 3.
Grand slam. Kurt Suzuki goes aloha.
Fastball up. I think if Soto were to and Otani walks. 9 walks issued by the Tiger. Fletcher, and that gets under the glove of Scope. And that's going to mean another run as Lagares comes.
Should be a base hit and an RBI.
Scope.
18. Caught stealing.
Ball swings and misses in a long inning. Fletcher at second base. Jared Walsh slotted third. Jose Iglesias is in the cleanup spot. Jonathan Scope up the middle. Grayson Griner doing the
base for Miguel Cabrera.
Otani smacks that one right into center field. That's a good way to start the series.
Well, that was.
Now he has to contend with Cabrera, who's one of the great pranksters. Hunter Wendelstedt behind the plate. There he goes. Breaking ball low. Tag high. Safe. And Otani, a little slow to get up. Looks to be okay.
They were pointing in there to take a look at it. Center field.
420 feet. He is safe. Otani. And
looked like they might have gotten him. It's pretty close.
A.J. Hinch. And he's safe.
Wow, that's
the challenge. And Otani is still alive. 3-1. Drives that ball into center. Diving, and he won't get it. Otani around third. It's the Angels on the board.
Well, how crazy this game is. It goes from you think maybe they picked him off at Marsh. Picks up his Marsh. On base. And now
Kia player profile top. Fastball in. Otani hit. If you've just joined us, good. Not enough to overturn. And he walks.
Reiner's thrown out 21% of base stealers this year. 0 for Otani. Great to see that.
There he goes. Pitches a strike. Throw in. And a strong tag as well.
Shohei's not moving.
Yep. Otani walked in the second.
That's exactly why Joe Madden likes to put.
And Madden remarked. So he
Try to sneak one back inside.
hit hard, but at Cabrera in the second, single, and scored a run in the first. Ohtani 0-1.
Some pretty good movement on his 97.
That was in on the hands, and that fastball inside corner. Ohtani didn't like it. It looked 1-1. Adele, left field. That ball's deep. That ball's gone. Grand slam. The kid did it. And the Angels grab the lead.
Say it is so. Joe Adele. Grand slam. And he crushed it.
406. Suzuki now. Suzuki, left field. Castro back. That one's gone. Back. A slam and a solo.
Wow. Some noise. Back to back.
Twice. 1 for 3.
Grand slam. Kurt Suzuki goes aloha.
Fastball up. I think if Soto were to and Ohtani walks. 9 walks issued by the Tiger. Fletcher, and that gets under the glove of Scope. And that's going to mean another run as Lagares comes.
Should be a base hit and an RBI.
Scope.
18. Caught stealing.
Ball swings and misses in a long inning. Fletcher at second base. Jared Walsh slotted third. Jose Iglesias is in the cleanup spot. Jonathan Scope up the middle. Grayson Griner doing the
base for Miguel Cabrera.
Ohtani smacks that one right into center field. That's a good way to start the series.
Well, that was.
Now he has to contend with Cabrera, who's one of the great pranksters. Hunter Wendelstedt behind the plate. There he goes. Breaking ball low. Tag high. Safe. And Ohtani, a little slow to get up. Looks to be okay.
They were pointing in there to take a look at it. Center field.
420 feet. He is safe. Ohtani. And
looked like they might have gotten him. It's pretty close.
A.J. Hinch. And he's safe.
Wow, that's
the challenge. And Ohtani is still alive. 3-1. Drives that ball into center. Diving, and he won't get it. Ohtani around third. It's the Angels on the board.
Well, how crazy this game is. It goes from you think maybe they picked him off at Marsh. Picks up his Marsh. On base. And now
Kia player profile top. Fastball in. Ohtani hit. If you've just joined us, good. Not enough to overturn. And he walks.
Reiner's thrown out 21% of base stealers this year. Oh, for Ohtani. Great to see that.
There he goes. Pitches a strike. Throw in. And a strong tag as well.
Shohei's not moving.
Yep. Ohtani walked in the second.
That's exactly why Joe Madden likes to put.
And Madden remarked. So he
Try to sneak one back inside.
hit hard, but at Cabrera. In the second, single, and scored a run in the first. Ohtani 0-1.
Some pretty good movement on his 97.
That was in on the hands, and that fastball inside corner. Ohtani didn't like it. It looked 1-1. Adele, left field. That ball's deep. That ball's gone. Grand slam. The kid did it. And the Angels grab the lead.
Say it is so. Joe Adele. Grand slam. And he crushed it.
406. Suzuki now. Suzuki, left field. Castro back. That one's gone. Back. A slam and a solo.
Wow. Some noise. Back to back.
Twice. 1 for 3.
Grand slam. Kurt Suzuki goes aloha.
Fastball up. I think if Soto were to... And Ohtani walks. 9 walks issued by the Tiger. Fletcher, and that gets under the glove of Scope. And that's going to mean another run as Lagares comes.
Should be a base hit and an RBI.
Scope.
18. Caught stealing.
Ball swings and misses in a long inning. Fletcher at second base. Jared Walsh slotted third. Jose Iglesias is in the cleanup spot. Jonathan Scope up the middle. Grayson Griner doing the
base for Miguel Cabrera.
Ohtani smacks that one right into center field. That's a good way to start the series.
Well, that was.
Now he has to contend with Cabrera, who's one of the great pranksters. Hunter Wendelstedt behind the plate. There he goes. Breaking ball low. Tag high. Safe. And Ohtani, a little slow to get up. Looks to be okay.
They were pointing in there to take a look at it. Center field.
420 feet. He is safe. Ohtani. And
looked like they might have gotten him. It's pretty close.
A.J. Hinch. And he's safe.
Wow, that's
the challenge. And Ohtani is still alive. 3-1. Drives that ball into center. Diving, and he won't get it. Ohtani around third. It's the Angels on the board.
Well, how crazy this game is. It goes from you think maybe they picked him off at Marsh. Picks up his Marsh. On base. And now
Kia player profile time. Fastball in. Ohtani hit. If you've just joined us, good. Not enough to overturn. And he walks.
Reiner's thrown out 21% of base stealers this year. Oh, for Ohtani. Great to see that.
There he goes. Pitches a strike. Throw in. And a strong tag as well.
Shohei's not moving.
Yep. Ohtani walked in the second.
That's exactly why Joe Madden likes to put.
And Madden remarked. So he
tried to sneak one back inside.
Hit hard, but at Cabrera. In the second, single, and scored a run in the first. Ohtani 0-1.
Some pretty good movement on his 97.
That was in on the hands, and that. Fastball inside corner. Ohtani didn't like it. It looked. 1-1. Adele, left field. That ball's deep. That ball's gone. Grand slam. The kid did it. And the Angels grab the lead.
Say it is so. Joe Adele. Grand slam. And he crushed it.
406 and 6. Suzuki now. Suzuki, left field. Castro back. That one's gone. Back. A slam and a solo.
Wow, some noise. Back to back.
Twice, 1 for 3.
Grand slam. Kurt Suzuki goes aloha.
Fastball up. I think if Soto were to... And Ohtani walks. 9 walks issued by the Tiger. Fletcher, and that gets under the glove of Scope. And that's going to mean another run as Lagares comes.
Should be a base hit and an RBI.
Scope.
18th, caught stealing.
Ball swings and misses in a long inning. Fletcher at second base. Jared Walsh slotted third. Jose Iglesias is in the cleanup spot. Jonathan Scope up the middle. Grayson Griner doing the
base for Miguel Cabrera.
Ohtani smacks that one right into center field. That's a good way to start the series.
Well, that was.
Now he has to contend with Cabrera, who's one of the great pranksters. Hunter Wendelstedt behind the plate. There he goes. Breaking ball low. Tag high. Safe. And Ohtani, a little slow to get up. Looks to be okay.
They were pointing in there to take a look at it. Center field.
420 feet. He is safe. Ohtani. And
looked like they might have gotten him. It's pretty close.
A.J. Hinch. And he's safe.
Wow, that's
the challenge. And Ohtani is still alive. 3-1. Drives that ball into center. Diving, and he won't get it. Ohtani around third. It's the Angels on the board.
Well, how crazy this game is. It goes from you think maybe they picked him off at Marsh. Picks up his Marsh. On base. And now
Kia player profile time. Fastball in. Ohtani hit. If you've just joined us, good. Not enough to overturn. And he walks.
Reiner's thrown out 21% of base stealers this year. Oh, for Ohtani. Great to see that.
There he goes. Pitches a strike. Throw in. And a strong tag as well.
Shohei's not moving.
Yep. Ohtani walked in the second.
That's exactly why Joe Madden likes to put.
And Madden remarked. So he
Try to sneak one back inside.
hit hard, but at Cabrera. In the second, single, and scored a run in the first. Ohtani 0-1.
Some pretty good movement on his 97.
That was in on the hands, and that fastball inside corner. Ohtani didn't like it. It looked 1-1. Adele, left field. That ball's deep. That ball's gone. Grand slam. The kid did it. And the Angels grab the lead.
Say it is so. Joe Adele. Grand slam. And he crushed it.
406. Suzuki now. Suzuki, left field. Castro back. That one's gone. Back. A slam and a solo.
Wow, some noise. Back to back.
Twice, 1 for 3.
Grand slam. Kurt Suzuki goes aloha.
Fastball up. I think if Soto were to... And Ohtani walks. 9 walks issued by the Tiger. Fletcher, and that gets under the glove of Scope. And that's going to mean another run as Lagares comes.
Should be a base hit and an RBI.
Scope.
18th, caught stealing.
Ball swings and misses, and a long inning. Fletcher at second base. Jared Walsh slotted third. Jose Iglesias is in the cleanup spot. Jonathan Scope up the middle. Grayson Griner doing the
base for Miguel Cabrera.
Ohtani smacks that one right into center field. That's a good way to start the series.
Well, that was.
Now he has to contend with Cabrera, who's one of the great pranksters. Hunter Wendelstedt behind the plate. There he goes. Breaking ball low. Tag high. Safe. And Ohtani, a little slow to get up. Looks to be okay.
They were pointing in there to take a look at it. Center field.
420 feet. He is safe. Ohtani. And
looked like they might have gotten him. It's pretty close.
A.J. Hinch. And he's safe.
Wow, that's
the challenge. And Ohtani is still alive. 3-1. Drives that ball into center. Diving, and he won't get it. Ohtani around third. It's the Angels on the board.
Well, how crazy this game is. It goes from you think maybe they picked him off at Marsh. Picks up his Marsh. On base. And now
Kia player profile time. Fastball in. Ohtani hit. If you've just joined us, good. Not enough to overturn. And he walks.
Reiner's thrown out 21% of base stealers this year. Oh, for Ohtani. Great to see that.
There he goes. Pitches a strike. Throw in. And a strong tag as well.
Shohei's not moving.
Yep. Ohtani walked in the second.
That's exactly why Joe Madden likes to put.
And Madden remarked. So he
tried to sneak one back inside.
Hit hard, but at Cabrera. In the second, single, and scored a run in the first. Ohtani 0-1.
Some pretty good movement on his 97.
That was in on the hands, and that fastball inside corner. Ohtani didn't like it. It looked 1-1. Adele, left field. That ball's deep. That ball's gone. Grand slam. The kid did it. And the Angels grab the lead.
Say it is so. Joe Adele. Grand slam. And he crushed it.
406. Suzuki now. Suzuki, left field. Castro back. That one's gone. Back. A slam and a solo.
Wow. Some noise. Back to back.
Twice. 1 for 3.
Grand slam. Kurt Suzuki goes aloha.
Fastball up. I think if Soto were to... And Ohtani walks. 9 walks issued by the Tiger. Fletcher, and that gets under the glove of Scope. And that's going to mean another run as Lagares comes.
Should be a base hit and an RBI.
Scope.
18th, caught stealing.
Ball swings and misses, and a long inning. Fletcher at second base. Jared Walsh slotted third. Jose Iglesias is in the cleanup spot. Jonathan Scope up the middle. Grayson Griner doing the
base for Miguel Cabrera.
Ohtani smacks that one right into center field. That's a good way to start the series.
Well, that was.
Now he has to contend with Cabrera, who's one of the great pranksters. Hunter Wendelstedt behind the plate. There he goes. Breaking ball low. Tag high. Safe. And Ohtani, a little slow to get up. Looks to be okay.
They were pointing in there to take a look at it. Center field.
420 feet. He is safe. Ohtani. And
looked like they might have gotten him. It's pretty close.
A.J. Hinch. And he's safe.
Wow, that's
the challenge. And Ohtani is still alive. 3-1. Drives that ball into center. Diving, and he won't get it. Ohtani around third. It's the Angels on the board.
Well, how crazy this game is. It goes from you think maybe they picked him off at Marsh. Picks up his Marsh. On base. And now
Kia player profile time. Fastball in. Ohtani hit. If you've just joined us, good. Not enough to overturn. And he walks.
Reiner's thrown out 21% of base stealers this year. Oh, for Ohtani. Great to see that.
There he goes. Pitches a strike. Throw in. And a strong tag as well.
Shohei's not moving.
Yep. Ohtani walked in the second.
That's exactly why Joe Madden likes to put.
And Madden remarked. So he
tried to sneak one back inside.
Hit hard, but at Cabrera. In the second, single, and scored a run in the first. Ohtani 0-1.
Some pretty good movement on his 97.
That was in on the hands, and that fastball inside corner. Ohtani didn't like it. It looked 1-1. Adele, left field. That ball's deep. That ball's gone. Grand slam. The kid did it. And the Angels grab the lead.
Say it is so. Joe Adele. Grand slam. And he crushed it.
406. Suzuki now. Suzuki, left field. Castro back. That one's gone. Back. A slam and a solo.
Wow. Some noise. Back to back.
Twice. 1 for 3.
Grand slam. Kurt Suzuki goes aloha.
Fastball up. I think if Soto were to and Ohtani walks. 9 walks issued by the Tigers. Fletcher, and that gets under the glove of Scope. And that's going to mean another run as Lagares comes.
Should be a base hit and an RBI.
Scope.
18th, caught stealing.
Ball swings and misses, and a long inning. Fletcher at second base. Jared Walsh slotted third. Jose Iglesias is in the cleanup spot. Jonathan Scope up the middle. Grayson Griner doing the
base for Miguel Cabrera.
Ohtani smacks that one right into center field. That's a good way to start the series.
Well, that was.
Now he has to contend with Cabrera, who's one of the great pranksters. Hunter Wendelstedt behind the plate. There he goes. Breaking ball low. Tag high. Safe. And Ohtani, a little slow to get up. Looks to be okay.
They were pointing in there to take a look at it. Center field.
420 feet. He is safe. Ohtani. And
looked like they might have gotten him. It's pretty close.
A.J. Hinch. And he's safe.
Wow, that's
the challenge. And Ohtani is still alive. 3-1. Drives that ball into center. Diving, and he won't get it. Ohtani around third. It's the Angels on the board.
Well, how crazy this game is. It goes from you think maybe they picked him off at Marsh. Picks up his Marsh. And now
Kia player profile time. Fastball in. Ohtani hit. If you've just joined us, good. Not enough to overturn. And he walks.
Reiner's thrown out 21% of base stealers this year. Oh, for Ohtani. Great to see that.
There he goes. Pitches a strike. Throw in. And a strong tag as well.
Shohei's not moving.
Yep. Ohtani walked in the second.
That's exactly why Joe Madden likes to put.
And Madden remarked. So he
Try to sneak one back inside.
hit hard, but at Cabrera. In the second, single, and scored a run in the first. Ohtani 0-1.
Some pretty good movement on his 97.
That was in on the hands, and that. Fastball inside corner. Ohtani didn't like it. It looked. 1-1. Adele, left field. That ball's deep. That ball's gone. Grand slam. The kid did it. And the Angels grab the lead.
Say it is so. Joe Adele. Grand slam. And he crushed it.
406. Suzuki now. Suzuki, left field. Castro back. That one's gone.
It ends up just like it is when
a slam.
That's his question.
And a solo.
It's good to be a friend. It is good to be Frenchie's friend.
It's good to have you as friends, but unfortunately now it's time for you guys to go because it's time for a solo shot. How about a solo shot right there from Vlad Guerrero? Yeah, we'll talk about Vladdy because we're going to put the spotlight on 60 years of Angels baseball and the Hall of Famer next.
Fletcher at second base.
Starting tonight
Wall
for the
slotted
Halos.
third. Jose Iglesias is in the cleanup
phones are
spot.
out because Shohei is on the hill. It is showtime. And ladies and gentlemen, all season long, we celebrate 60 years of Angels baseball, and one of the most exciting players and biggest personalities, Vlad Guerrero, the only player to go in the Hall of Fame as an Angel.
Over the past 60 seasons, the Angels have boasted some of the greatest hitters of all time. But certainly near the top of that list is Vladimir Guerrero. Vladdy was already an established superstar, so when he signed with the Angels in 2004, enthusiasm at the Big A was at an all-time high.
When you add a player at that point in his career to a lineup that's already pretty good, it takes it to another level.
Vlad began his Angel career with a bang, knocking in 2 runs in the season opener, clubbing a homer in Game 2, another in Game 6, and then again in Game 8, the team's home opener. Vlad was born in the Dominican Republic, and with 8 siblings, he was never without a playmate. On the dirt fields, he found joy in the game of baseball and developed an attitude that, regardless of the location, every pitch was hittable.
Es casi lo mismo, ya que a veces picheo para allá afuera o picheo adentro o en el suelo. Yo creo que desde niño siempre ha sido así, no sé.
I don't think there's a certain way that you can pitch to him because the fact that he can hit anything.
No me echa a reír porque los muchachos dicen que cómo yo le doy esa bola. Y digo yo, bueno, yo no sé. Yo sé que a veces por eso, que a veces uno quiere tratar de parar el swing, pero no se puede.
Vladdy finished 2004 with 39 homers, 126 RBI, and 124 runs. His 354 MVP votes were 100 more than runner-up Gary Sheffield. In short order, he became the face of the franchise and a favorite of Angels fans and his teammates.
I think the most memorable moment was my debut against the Baltimore Orioles. I think it was the 3rd inning. Ball hit the right field with Vladimir Guerrero. Comes up, he fires him out at home plate and was able to get him out. I think that's really when it set in that, you know, wow, I'm up here with these guys, and these guys are an awesome group, and you know, you're playing with talents like Vladimir Guerrero. So I think that was my most memorable moment for sure.
On August 10, 2009, Vladdy hit his 400th home run.
Home run number 400 for Vlad Guerrero, and it gives the Angels a lead.
And when he collected his 1,000th hit as an Angel later that month, he became the 4th player in MLB history to notch 1,000 hits in both leagues.
How about Big Daddy Vladdy? That's his 1,000th hit as an Angel.
2009 would be his final season as an Angel, but he would go out with a bang. After helping the Angels reach the postseason for a 5th time, Vlad stepped to the plate in the 9th inning, trailing the Red Sox by a run.
Guerrero swings and lines it into center field. It's in for a hit. From third base comes Figgins to tie the score. Here comes Abreu, and the Angels will take the lead. With 2 outs in the 9th inning, they have scored 3 times to take the lead.
It was probably Vlad's most prominent hit as a Halo, leading the Angels to a 3-game sweep of Boston.
Vladimir Guerrero.
In 2017, amongst a standing ovation at Angel Stadium, Vlad was rightfully inducted into the team's Hall of Fame.
Contento ya cuando me llamaron, que me iban a meter.
Extremely happy to be part of this Hall of Fame. I will forever remember just the special moments here in this ballpark.
But 2017 was just the warm-up to 2018, when Vladdy was warmly welcomed into the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
Años que jugué también con Mike Socia.
Thank you to the Angels. Thank you to Mike Socia as a manager. And thank you to all those that made a difference. And certainly, what it means to be here today is truly special for all of you. How you influenced my career.
This accomplishment meant so much to Vladimir, his family, and to Halo faithful everywhere. The first Angel ever to be enshrined in bronze, wearing the mighty Halo topped A.
The one and only Vlad Guerrero. One more time out on the program when we come back. Shohei moments away from stepping to the plate and taking the mound tonight in Motown.
Watch your game.
Valley Sports is brought to you by your Southern California Cadillac dealers. Yeah, the binoculars are out looking for Shohei Ohtani as he is taken to the hill tonight. Game 2 of this 3-game set between the Tigers and the Angels at Comerica Park in Detroit. That's Tarek Skubal, 24-year-old who was drafted in 2018, a 9th rounder. He's won his last 2 games. This is his first one against the Angels. Another talented young arm for these Tigers. We saw Casey Mize, the #1 overall pick back in 2018. Last season. Skubal, by the way, recorded his 100th strikeout of the season in a game against the White Sox, becoming the first Tiger rookie in franchise history to strike out 100 before the All-Star break. And, of course, all eyes on Shohei Ohtani making his 18th start of the season. He's won his last 3 and 6 straight pitching decisions. Yeah, his numbers speak for themselves. 7-1, 2.93 ERA this season. He is 1-0 with a 1.64 ERA and 10 strikeouts and 2 career starts against these Tigers. Oh, by the way, Shohei also scheduled to bat leadoff. He leads the majors, of course, in home runs, extra base hits, and slugging percentage. It's about time for Angels baseball. Yes, all the camera phones are out. All eyes on Shohei Ohtani. Matt Vasgersian, Mark Kubaza, Jose Mota with the call. Angels, Tigers coming at you next. Get ready. It's showtime from Detroit.
The heart of LA, Valley Sports West, the heart of the fan.
It had been a quiet few days for the Angels lineup until the top of the ninth inning in Detroit yesterday. 6 runs keyed by Joe Adell's first career grand slam, and the Angels had earned an 8-2 series opening win in Motown. Tonight's Angels broadcast is presented by Hyundai as we welcome you to Comerica Park, home of the Tigers, for the second of a 3-game series between your Los Angeles Angels and the Detroit Tigers. And welcome with Mark Gubicza, Matt Vasgersian, Jose Mota with us as well. You watched last night, Gooby, a great ninth inning unfold, and an Angels lineup that, as we mentioned, had looked a little quiet, got very loud in an awful hurry last night.
Man, it was amazing when you think you have facing a pitcher that's throwing 100 miles an hour. Gregory Soto, he was throwing the ball well, but then Joe Adell comes up with the bases loaded, takes the first pitch, works into a better count, and then a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. His first career grand slam. I love the energy. I love the bat flip. And all of a sudden, the offense got it rolling with that one swing of the bat, the trust that Joe Maddon had in Joe Adell to come through in the clutch there. And then after that, Kurt Suzuki hits a home run also, and there's some more good at-bats. Suzuki goes aloha with a home run, his 4th of the season. So some good at-bats, some patient at-bats, but the home run ball was huge there in the 9th inning.
And maybe a lineup heating up at just the right time to benefit Shohei Ohtani, who hasn't needed much help. Let's face it, since the beginning of July in 5 starts, Ohtani is 4-0 with a 1.69 ERA. He gets the ball tonight in Game 2 of the series.
Matt, he is so creative. Sometimes his splitter is not working until later in the game, but then he uses his cutter, his slider, his fastball command has been very, very good. He works down in the strike zone. He's getting a lot more ground ball outs with his cutter. He still has that splitter to get a swing and miss. I think he's going to use that quite a bit tonight against the Tigers lineup. But I love the fact is he can swing the bat when he's on the mound today, hitting leadoff, and also has the ability to give himself a lead first inning, but also throwing the ball so well. I love the fact that Shohei Ohtani has been doing it all for the Halos, continuing that trend tonight.
And perhaps an opportunity for Ohtani to hand the ball to what's been a very effective bullpen for the Angels of late. Jose Mota has more on that component of the Halos attack next.
In Detroit, Comerica Park, Game 2, Angels and the Detroit Tigers. Sensational win for the Angels last night, and it's good to see the bullpen again get the job done. Welcome back to the booth. Jose Mota alongside Matt Vasgersian and Mark Gubicza. And we talk about the bullpen, right? Throwing some zeros. What an outstanding job. But it goes back to 3 games. And also the starters doing a good job passing the baton at the right time. So the candidates, even though varied, have really come in at the right time. Start with this young kid. Austin Warren's got out there, and all he's done is go out there and challenge hitters with that slider and that fastball. And then the combination of a Cishek would really straighten things out, especially with men in scoring position or men aboard. Then Quijada with a powerful fastball. Warren, again, confidence, pounding the zone, not allowing too many walks, and getting after people have all been clue to a guy like Mike Myers, who is finding his rhythm also again. Overall, Angels pitching 2.93 ERA. Against the Tigers, and right around the corner, they have to face one Shohei Ohtani.
In Motown tonight, welcome back. Shohei Ohtani on the mound and leading off for the Angels. Joe Maddon's lineup against Tarek Skubal and the Tigers, trying to take 2 in a row to start this series against Detroit. Features Ohtani at the top of the card, David Fletcher batting second. There are 3 Angels in tonight's starting lineup that didn't play yesterday. Goslin and Upton among them. The other is Max Stassi, Iglesias, and a batting. Brandon Marsh had a couple of knocks yesterday and an RBI. Jack Mayfield at third base, rounding out the lineup for the Angels, trying to get back to 500 with a victory tonight. And lining up against a rookie left-hander, Tarek Skubal, who has a couple of franchise records in his sights. One of them he'd prefer not approach, but it is 1 year ago today that Tarek Skubal made his major league debut. And Gooby, he's coming off a couple of really good starts in his last 2 turns around.
Yeah, he's got really good stuff. My go-tos to have some success against him here today in Detroit is drive his fastball for some power. 18 home runs allowed on his fastball, and work into hitters counts, 1-0 counts and beyond, 304, 551 slugging. It's 197, 368 slugging when he's ahead, starting to count 0-1.
Shohei Ohtani in to start us tonight, and Skubal starts him with a fastball for a strike. Shohei 1 for 3, 3 walks yesterday, along with the stolen base that you guys talked about on Angels Live. A ball and a strike to Ohtani to start the ball game.
He throws about 55% fastballs. He'll throw a slider, changeup, curveball, and a split.
Ball and 2 strikes to Ohtani. We mentioned the 2 good starts for Skubal of late. 5 innings of shutout baseball against the Red Sox August 5th. 6 innings of shutout baseball against Baltimore 6 days later. And he strikes out Ohtani to begin his night.
Boy, a couple sliders, one on the inner half, a pitch where Shohei normally has a good chance to make a good pass at, and this slider's upstairs, middle of the plate, and you can see his reaction. He felt he should have hit that baseball a long way, staying upstairs with a slider, but he got it by him. '41st strikeout with his slider, 31.5% whiff rate with his slider.
So 1 gone for David Fletcher, who yesterday was 1 for 6. That won his 139th hit of the season, second highest total in the American League. And it's a ball and a strike from Skubal, who, as we can already tell, Gooby likes to work quickly.
Yeah, especially because he's attacking the strike zone with his fastball. He's got good downward action on his delivery. Like Trout looking on, see if he could see something, help one of his teammates out if he picks something up for the bench.
Well, I love the post-game comments yesterday we heard from Joe Adell, and we'll get to that a little bit later on. The help that he got from Mike Trout, hunting fastballs. I mean, you're a young guy like Joe trying to make your way, and if Mike Trout sees something and slides next to you in the batter's box or on the bench, you listen, as Joe did, and apparently that paid a big dividend last night with that grand slam. Fletch pops it up. Grayson Griner behind the plate again tonight, and there are 2 gone.
There you go, back to that quote. Never forget these guys have good fastballs. Stay on them. That's what Trout had told Joe Adell. And sometimes you give pitchers too much credit. You look for a secondary pitch, sit on a fastball, and that's where you can do the most damage. And he did. 97-mile-an-hour fastball, hit 416 feet.
There's Phil Gosselin now, idled yesterday. Breaking ball starts him with a strike. Phil homered on Sunday, his 4th of the year, a career high in a season for Gosselin. Modest total. Guy who'd been a role player previously, and Phil's had a lot of opportunities to play with this year's Angels, and he's really taken advantage of the opportunity. A ball and a strike to count from Skubal. And there's a base hit to right.
Slugging .399 versus left-handed pitching. Gosselin going the other way on the line for a base hit.
So now Justin Upton, another of the right-handed Angels who was idle yesterday, a one-time Tiger, sitting on 996 career runs batted in. A chance for him to pick up a stake with the runner aboard here and 2 gone. And Upton is started with a fastball for a strike. You talk about the repertoire of Tarik Skubal, Gooby, and we'll see it play out here tonight. He's made some adjustments, and the splitter that you talked about was the one pitch that had given him a hard time in April. He gets a call on a high pitch that time. He has not only modified the use of the split, it's become a better pitch for him since he struggled in the season's first month.
Yeah, and what you do when you have a splitter you're not having a good command with, you got to make sure you stay back and stay on top of the baseball. You want more downward action as compared to little running action to it. And that's what happened to him early. He's made much better adjustment.
Ball and 2 strikes, the count to Upton. We talked about Mike Trout getting in Joe Adell's ear with what to look for at the plate. A.J. Hinch has done that with Skubal, and Hinch in his first year managing in Detroit noticed that repertoire. Let's check it out. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. It's a lot, Gooby. He throws just about everything but the kitchen sink, but he has really increased his four-seam and slider usage.
Yeah, and you notice the majority of those pitches are upstairs, but the ones down below, that he'll throw his slider and his splitter down in the lower third, upper part of the strike zone, especially with his four-seam fastball to set up his secondary pitches.
Yeah, Hinch, the Tigers manager, was the one advocating a more usage of the sinker. Throw the sinking fastball more. Let's not always try to be cute. We hear it said a lot. Best pitch in baseball. Still a well-located fastball. There's one that missed with location. And J-Up sends it out of here. 2-0 Halos.
That was a four-seam fastball, Matt. 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and J-Up goes Uptown Funk. 17th home run. Now it is 2 RBIs away from 1,000 with a 2-run home run. 17 on the season, 39 RBIs. And another right-handed batter with some good numbers, slugging percentage-wise versus lefties. Brought his hands in on that one and crushed it. And I mean crushed it out to left center. That's a long, long way out.
Belt high fastball, too much of the plate, and Justin Upton says hello. And here's Iglesias now. 2-0 Halos early on, and for J-Up, he continues his ascent up the all-time home run list. He is into some really impressive heady company. Longtime Tigerlands Parish and Hall of Famer Gary Carter is who he has pulled even with.
He's hanging out with some catchers.
That's right. 17th of the year.
427-foot home run by J-Up. Wow, crushed.
That's been a part of the problem for Tarik Skubal, too. We talked about the rookie records that he's creeping up on as a Tiger, and unfortunately for him, homers allowed is one of them. That's the 26th that he's given up this year. Tigers' rookie record is 27, set by Jeff Weaver in 1999. Iglesias chases a changeup that stayed high. Nothing further, but a 2-run homer by Justin Upton opens the scoring on behalf of Shohei Ohtani. Set to go to work with a 2-0 lead early in Detroit. Once the calendar turned into July, Shohei Ohtani's pitching game has gone to a new level. 5 starts over that time. And since July 1st, he is 4-0, 7-1 overall. His July 1st on ERA is under 2.93 overall as he makes his 18th assignment on the mound tonight, Doobie.
And he's changing what he throws, especially early in the game. He might be throwing a cutter, he might be throwing a slider, split. My go-tos, though, for Shohei to have a real good game against the Tigers today, pick up victory number 8, is establish that splitter early. Percentage of splitters have gone down, but still very, very effective. And get ground outs with that cutter. You get a lot of ground ball action. 44.7% ground ball rate.
Robbie Grossman set to start things for the Tigers tonight. It'll be Grossman, Schoop, and Cabrera for Detroit. We'll post the rest of their lineup in just a moment. Robbie Grossman 1 for 4 with an RBI yesterday. One of 4 switch hitters that Ohtani will be facing tonight in A.J. Hinch's lineup. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Of course, one of the big stories in Detroit, and it's a part of our storyline tonight as well, is the guy who bats third for the Tigers, Miguel Cabrera, still sitting on 499 career home runs. Tigers have benefited from bigger walk-up crowds the past few home dates. Folks eager to see a piece of history. And Cabrera will bat third to start the ball game in the first inning tonight.
It's great to see that enthusiasm for Tiger fans again. They have some really good young pitching. Got a chance to potentially watch history tonight. Miguel Cabrera and Shohei Ohtani on the mound for the Halos. You can't beat that if you're a Tiger fan. Chance to go to Comerica Park tonight.
I mean, really, if you're a Tiger fan, you're a Michigander, and you can circle like 2 or 3 calendar dates to come out to the ballpark, this is not a bad one to circle. 2 balls and a strike to count to Grossman, who wants time.
Interesting thing with Max Stassi behind the plate tonight with Shohei Ohtani. A lot of times you'll see Kurt Suzuki, although these two have worked very well together. 1.93 ERA when they've worked together, Stassi and Ohtani.
2 balls and 2 strikes to count to Robbie Grossman. The numbers on Shohei's last starting turn Thursday at home against Toronto. 6 innings of work, 2 earned runs, allowed only 3 hits, struck out 6 in a 6-3 Halos win.
So you threw him a cutter, follow with a slider. He loves to throw that cutter to get back into counts, and he tries to finish off lefties with a slider, but a lot of times you love to see that splitter being used early against a lefty.
See if this is the pitch he uses to break that out for the first time tonight. 2-2 home to Grossman, struck him out. If that was a split, it didn't do much. What was that, Gooby?
That was a fastball he threw, and that was a reaction. That baseball had some late movement to it. It almost looked as if it was a splitter just by the reaction by Grossman, because look how much that moved. He was kind of shocked. He had to be thinking split or slider. He got his fastball instead at 93 and got it by him with that late movement upstairs.
First out for Shohei recorded via the strikeout. Now it's the second baseman, Jonathan Schoop. Schoop was 2 for 5 yesterday, his 42nd multi-hit game of the year. And that ties him, gives share of the major league lead with the Dodgers' Trey Turner and Adam Frazier. Couple of sliders, that one misses, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike now.
Schoop hits a fastball really well, 326, slugging 494. He's had a tough time versus breakables with a whiff percentage of almost 34%. So cutter and slider might be big pitches for Ohtani against them.
Ball and 2 strikes, and it gives us a chance to post the rest of A.J. Hinch's lineup tonight. After Grossman and Schoop, it is Miguel Cabrera, the future Hall of Famer, DHing, batting third. Jamer Candelario, Harold Castro, Renato Nunez, 4 through 6. And then switch hitter Willie Castro, Grayson Greiner, and another switch hitter, Victor Reyes, rounding it out for the Tigers, a team that doesn't hit a lot of homers. They'll steal bases, and they'll punch base hits into right field as well, as Jonathan Schoop does with one gone.
Not unusual for him to pick up a hit on a fastball.
Rousing greeting for Miguel Cabrera. 0 for 2 with 2 walks and a punch out yesterday. 12 of his 499 career homers have come this year. Familiar story for so many veteran sluggers who are in their senior days in the league. Not as productive this year as certainly he was in the prime of his career, but always a threat. And the pitch from Ohtani backs him up for a strike. We've got some good stuff to get into tonight in terms of the 500 home run club, when it's happened on the Angels watch, Angels themselves to enter that exclusive group. A ball and a strike.
Yeah, very rarely does he swing at the first pitch, and he doesn't have a lot of success. He took the first one, slider inside. This is a cutter just a little off the plate. We've seen quite a few cutters and sliders in the first inning for Shohei of his 12 pitches. No splitters yet.
Hall of Famer Jim Thome, the only player to connect for number 500 against the Angels. Boy, that was dangerous. It's a ball and 2 strikes on Cabrera. These two met back on June 17th at Angel Stadium. It was a good night for Shohei. Went 6 very strong innings, but here's one that got away, and it got away up.
Yeah, that was a splitter. That was a splitter. That, you know, we see that from time to time with Shohei when he stays underneath it. Miguel Cabrera just had such a good time. And even had some fun yesterday when Shohei was at first base.
And he understood back then on the 17th of June that that one got away from Shohei. It's still a ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, let's take you back to yesterday, Gooby. You mentioned the fun they had against one another, with one another.
Taking away his sliding gloves. Well, you can tell he's looking away. If you're fouling off a nasty slider like that, Miguel Cabrera is looking away against Ohtani.
1-2. Past the shortstop, Iglesias into left field. So back-to-back one-out singles.
Throw him another cutter. Getting closer to 3,000 hits now. 48 away.
Boy, those two milestones approaching on the same timeline, and that's a group that Cabrera desperately wants to be included in, as you see that cutter that gets lined past Iglesias.
That's that plate coverage. That's off the plate by a couple baseballs. He's looking away. That's where his power is, to try to drive at the right center.
Schoop and Cabrera aboard for the switch hitting third baseman today, Jeimer Candelario. Candelario was 0 for 4 with a strikeout yesterday. 500 homers and 3,000 hits. I mean, that is just, those are the automatic numbers where if you get one of them, you're in the building in Cooperstown, New York.
Yeah, I mean, they're amazing. In a World Series champion, Triple Crown.
Strike to Candelario, ball and a strike to him now. Pretty exclusive company. 503,000. Aaron, Mays, Murray, Palmeiro, A-Rod, and Albert. One pitch is fouled away.
It's amazing, though, that Shohei Ohtani, even in the first inning, when there's men on base, he dials it up. Now you're seeing 95 with his fastball. He saw 92, 93. He can gear it up, even in the early part of the game when there's men in scoring position.
Well, we know about that first inning ERA for Shohei. We've talked about it all year long. It's 7.5. From that point forward, he sails. After the first inning, his ERA this year is under 2 at 1.91. And I've always thought, Gooby, that's a... I mean, I get the numbers are what they are, but it's a little misleading because if you have one first inning blow up in 15 starts, or in Shohei's case, 17, your first inning ERA is going to be a little bloated because it's such a small sample size.
Yeah, that's 7 runs he gave up in Yankee Stadium. Big reason why that ERA is that high in the first inning. Usually it's command as far as walks in the first inning for Shohei. So far, so good as far as command of the strike zone. Just hasn't had quite that finishing pitch he needs, and that would be right now.
Yeah, 7 runs in that first inning at Yankee Stadium you mentioned. He's given up a total of 7 runs across all of his other first innings combined. A ball and 2 strikes to Candelario. Swing and a drive out to right field. On the run is Adele to make the catch. He gets it back in quickly, and the tag applied to Scope to double him off.
What a great play by Joe Adele, showing the range, but he already got himself in real good throwing position to get that baseball in as fast as possible. Boy, we're loving more and more what we're seeing from Adele. And I think he got him before that foot got down. He's waiting. They may take a look at it, but what a play that was by Joe Adele. Shohei loving it.
I guess the Tigers are not going to challenge the play as close as it looked, and the Angels get Shohei Ohtani out of a first inning jam. Joe Adele leads things off in the visitors' half of the second. 2-0 Angels. Already some exciting stuff for the visiting side. A 2-run homer by Justin Upton, a big throw, and a double play by Joe Adele. In fact, let's go back to it. Our Arco top-tier play. We've already seen it, and we're only an inning into the game. Hey, Joe, where you going with that gun in your hand? Show us the gun.
What a throw. He turns around and gets himself in throwing position right away. Boy, a couple really good innings going back to the grand slam in the ninth, and a nice play here in the first inning. Still surprised the Tigers didn't take a look at that a little bit longer.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I don't know how many chances you think you're going to get against Shohei Ohtani. We've documented his first inning trouble, and they had first and second, one away. It was really close as Adele lines that one foul.
And a quick tag by Jose Iglesias on the throw from Joe Adele.
Havana Magic hands. 2-2 to Adele, and he swings and misses. There's one gone. Third strikeout of the game by Skubal. Let's bring in Jose Mota for a deep dive on the Tiger left-hander.
Yes, Skubal, as you mentioned, Matty, they're keeping a tight rein on his workload. It's worked out nicely coming into the start. Last two starts for him, 11 innings, no earned runs, only one extra base hit, 2 walks, 10 punch-outs. I do like the pace he has on the mound. Hard hit over MLB average, and the case always going to be there, Gooby, especially because he can change eye level so nicely.
He's got his fastball. He can throw even his slider upstairs. I love his motion. I keep looking at him. I almost think of, you know, a John Lester, Andy Pettitte type delivery where it's really good as far as fluid downward action on his pitches.
Well, the Tigers are making no bones about how they're trying to rebuild and, as they say around here, restore the roar. As it's 0-1 to Brandon Marsh, make it 1-1 to Marsh now. They're trying to do it with some young, homegrown pitching. A ball and 2 strikes to Brandon. Last night we saw Casey Mize, Skubal tonight, back-to-back rookies. Both have made 20-plus starts. You got to go back to 1977 to find the last time 2 rookies made 20 or more starts in the same season for the Tigers. A 1-2 home to Marsh. Got him looking. 4 strikeouts for Skubal.
And that's that slider upstairs again. He's got that great downward action. He has a fastball 2-seamer down, slider up. He throws a 4-seamer upstairs. There's a lot to like about this lefty for the Tigers.
So we're already seeing it tonight. We're seeing the 2 Tiger rookie records that he's zeroing in on. Homers allowed, and he's already been taken deep tonight, and strikeouts. He's now got 131 as he zeroes in on the Tigers rookie strikeout record set by Les Kane in 1970, 156.
Pretty amazing. The Tigers have been around for a long time. I think be able to have that record for strikeouts for a rookie pitcher, that's pretty impressive.
0-2 the count to Max Stassi. Skubal looking to strike out the side. Max sat yesterday. Ball and 2 strikes to Stassi. I think it makes a manager feel smart when you know, you platoon guys, as Joe has at catcher for the most part. Stassi getting more of the opportunities, but when the other guy homers, as was the case yesterday, you feel like you're doing a pretty good job with your rotation.
Yeah, I mean, a couple good at bats last night for Kurt Suzuki, had a double too. So Max Stassi, though, they're trying to get him back as far as his timing at the plate. He's looks like he's more pull happy of late. When he's on his game, he's hitting the ball line drive up the middle, real good power right center. But going back to how Shohei and Stassi have worked together, they've worked very well together.
Ground ball out to Castro at shortstop. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Tarik Skubal. An inning and a half into the night in Detroit, and the Angels have a 2-0 lead. Comerica Prominently from Shohei Ohtani tonight, and that seems to be something of a trend. Rotation mixes change, pitch arsenal mixes change, and as we've talked about with Shohei, it's changing before our very eyes, Gooby.
Yeah, creativity. Over the last 5 starts, just under 11% splitter usage. Same thing with his curveball down. Cutter percentage has gone up. Slider, same thing. Still has a lot of trust in his four-seamer. Go back to that usage of his cutter. First 12 starts is just under 10%. Now over the last 5, just under 20%, and a much better feel as far as getting outs and ground ball outs. Not necessarily a strikeout pitch with his cutter, but soft contact on the ground.
Harold Castro will lead things off for the Tigers here in the second. Castro, Nunez, and Castro. Accident attorneys at law. Also the 5, 6, 7 part of the Tigers order tonight. Flips a base hit back up the middle. Third hit of the game for the Tigers against Shohei Ohtani, and Jose Mota has a little bit more on the repertoire tonight.
Hey, Matt, remember there was a time when we all said, well, there's a walk in his game, but go back since the All-Star break, 25 innings, 4 walks, Scooby, 25 punch-outs, 1 home run for Shohei. Scoring position, we know he amps it up a little bit more. Those 67 at-bats and a 119 average, 32 punch-outs in those situations. And hit the ball in the infield, Matty, you have no chance. 6 for 103. How about that one?
I like that one a lot. No chance indeed. Leadoff hitter aboard here for the Tigers for Renato Nunez, the former Oriole. When are we going to see a split tonight, by the way, boys?
I know it is surprising. He usually will break that out there at some point earlier in the game, and then you'll see it more usage in the 4th and 5th inning, and then we'll see that 100-mile-an-hour fastball to 6th and 7th. But he's had a lot of success getting outs on the ground, and like Jose just mentioned, as far as getting that ball and not getting a lot of success on the ground.
23 pitches, no splits so far.
And my theory about why he doesn't give up many hits when it's on the ground like that is because he runs a fastball in. It's difficult getting out of the batter's box. Or as a lefty, you're trying to make contact on a splitter or a cutter, and it's off balance to swing, and it's tougher to get out of the batter's box.
Oh, 0-1 the count to Renato Nunez. It's a double play ball. And the Halos get them both.
It's the 4th, 5th double play now turned behind Shohei Ohtani on the ground. 2 double plays in the game already. Ground ball right to Mayfield. Fletch still quick on the throw, gets him by a bunch at first base. It's a 57th double play turn by Fletch at second this year.
2 gone, bases empty now for the switch hitting left fielder tonight, Willie Castro. So, you know, I have a theory. I'm curious what you think about this, Gooby. The fact that Shohei has been going deeper into games. He is averaging over 6 innings a start in July and August. Does that have anything to do with the... there's one.
Yeah.
Finally saw a split.
Yep.
Does it have anything to do with the decreased split usage because he's maybe less chase dependent? Maybe it's fewer pitches per inning. Is there a correlation there, do you think?
100%. I think he's happy to get outs, and he's getting a lot of outs going back to his cutter. Again, when you look at his numbers, he doesn't get a lot of swing and misses or strikeouts with his cutter, but it's generally soft contact, and it allows you to get deeper in the game with quicker outs.
And he gets a quick 3-pitch strikeout of Willie Castro, his second of the game. A double play ball, a punchy, and a scoreless bottom of the second for Shohei Ohtani.
Tonight going Kiss. Detroit Rock City rocked the fastball. Scooble's already given up 18 home runs with his fastball this year. We'll make that 19, rocking the fastball. Shohei Ohtani coming up second has got to continue rocking the fastball, avoiding those sliders and scoring some runs.
Excellent. I feel uptight on a Saturday night. 9 o'clock, the radio's the only light. I love it.
Yes, way to go, Matty V.
Here we go. Jack Mayfield leads things off in the halo half of the third. A high fly ball to left. It's carrying. Castro stumbles and then takes a rather circuitous route to make the play.
That's an infielder playing left field. It's going back sideways, then he goes back thinking it's got some carry to it. He goes, whoa, stop. Got to come in and run that one down. He knew it all the way.
Post route. I mean, if you're watching the fielder, you think he's going deep. And Scooble's like, what are you doing, bro?
It's a great reaction.
One gone for Ohtani. Shohei sends that one to right, but playable for Grossman. And there are 2 quick outs here in the third.
Interesting where he was playing him as a right fielder. I mean, playing him in right center. He's hit a lot of baseballs, pulled a lot of baseballs of late. You see the center fielder playing towards that area, not the right fielder, but Grossman able to run that one down.
So 2 gone, bases empty for David Fletcher, who popped up to the catcher in his first try tonight. Fletch playing in his 400th career game tonight. And Scooble starts him with a breaking ball for a strike. So 399 games, and he got there with 456 hits. Puts him on a very short list of Angels with 450 or more hits before playing in their 400th game.
That's pretty amazing, those names with Fletch. Trouty and GA.
Hit number 1, June 17th, 2018 in Seattle. Vintage Fletcher, and he turns this into a triple.
Yeah, Marco Gonzalez, maybe a little cutter he went and got.
Part of a 3-for-4 major league debut for him.
I think Fletch would like an extra base hit. He's had an extra base hit now in 41 plate appearances.
Ball and 2 strikes. It remains to him. 2-2 now. Scooble has struck out 4 and has not allowed a base runner since the Upton homer touched him up for a couple of runs with 2 out in the first. Again, working quickly. The 2-2 home to Fletcher on the ground and past Candelario into the corner. Fletch on his way around first into second. A 2-out double in the Angels half of the third.
And just like that, Fletch says, don't ever mention the fact I haven't had an extra base hit in a while, because here it is. Right down the line for Fletch. 140th hit on the season, 24th double. In scoring position for Phil Gosselin.
Ends a stretch of 6 in a row, retired by Scooble, and as you mentioned, gives Gosselin an opportunity to drive in a run here. Phil singled and scored in front of the Upton homer in the first. He's looking right field again, but this one's in the air for Grossman to retire the side. 2-out double dies. We play 2.5 in Detroit tonight. Angels still lead it 2-0. Back to work, bottom of the third. We were talking about this before that second inning came to a close. The fact that since the break, Ohtani is averaging more than 6 innings per start. He and Patrick Sandoval can both claim the same success. And only Marco Gonzalez of the Seattle Mariners is getting deeper into games in the American League since the Midsummer Classic.
And yet he's still keeping that pitch count under 100 every one of those starts.
Here's the catcher Grayson Greiner, and a curveball starts him with a strike.
Going back to your point about not using the splitter as much, get more chases, he's getting more quick outs, and that's flipping a 71-mile-an-hour curveball in first pitch here of the third.
And Greiner sends a ground ball to Mayfield. Yeah, you could really go back and do this math project, Gooby. His innings per start by month and his splitter usage by month, and there really is a correlation. In April, he was averaging about 4.5 innings per start. In May, it rose to 5.5. Shrunk again in June, and then kind of peaks with the numbers that we just showed our fans a moment ago. I imagine Joe Maddon is very aware of that if he didn't orchestrate it himself.
Well, he gets a ton of ground balls with his cutter. And it's not hard contact, too. It's towards the end of the bat, or if it's a left-handed batter, it's on the handle of the bat.
Ball and no strikes, the count to Victor Reyes. He slashes a base hit into left.
It's the 4th hit that Shohei has allowed tonight. 3 of them versus fastballs. Jack Mayfield almost got that one.
Reyes has 3 stolen bases in as many attempts this year. As a team, the Tigers like to run. 65 stolen bases, 4th highest total in the American League. And it's back to the top of the order, Robbie Grossman now. Kind of gets back to what we talked about earlier. How many opportunities do the Tigers think they're really going to have against Ohtani? And I wouldn't be surprised if they try to pick a pitch to run on here.
Not easy to steal against. It's 2 stolen bases. 2 have been caught. Even in his career, 3 stolen bases allowed, period, in 6 attempts. So he's quick to the plate. Has an average move the first, but he's quick enough to the plate where he'll utilize his slide step to give the catcher, and tonight would be Max Stassi, a better chance to throw out a base stealer.
Ball and no strikes, the count to Robbie Grossman, who struck out to start the first inning tonight. And we talk about guys, Gooby, that are on the all Angels opponent list, guys that just regularly wear out Angels pitching. Grossman used to be one of those guys. Not so much this year. 2018 as a Twin, hit .318. Good years with Oakland against the Angels. There's another double play ball. And the Angels won't have a chance to turn this one. Just got out there a little too slowly, and Iglesias never really had a chance for the relay.
Yeah, you were so right about Grossman. He had so many patient, effective at-bats against the Angels throughout his career, but this year it's been different. And Shohei got him out in front of that ground ball, not hit hard enough to turn 2. But they've been throwing him some really good pitches this season. He hasn't had his timing together, which is good to see, because he's been so effective in his career against the Halos. And he's a stolen base threat. See if he will go with Scope at the plate. Force Scope to get a fastball, and he hits fastballs very well.
That's a good point. Grossman, a bigger stolen base threat than the guy that he replaces at first, Victor Reyes. He's got 13 bags this year. And Shohei would like to avoid pitching to Miguel Cabrera with runners on. 2-way runner at first base, 2-0 Angels. Scope singled in the first. And pops up here in the third. That keeps Cabrera on the on-deck circle and sends us to the 4th. Still 2-0 Halos.
This is our Land Rover above and beyond against Garrett Cole. Good numbers. They repeat themselves. That smile, that smirk, yes. And today, Gooby pointed out, the arms get cocked in, the swing gets shorter, and the distance gets longer as tonight against the lefty for Justin Upton.
Yeah, part of it is Justin Upton over the last number of seasons had a tough time catching up to good fastballs, but when he brings his hands in shorter through the baseball, he can crush a fastball. He's hit many breakables out over the last 3-4 seasons and has had a tough time with high velocity fastballs. But when he brings his hands in, tucks it in there, he's got a good chance to drive it.
Behind 0-2, leading things off in the fourth inning here is Homer, providing the only action on the scoreboard tonight so far. And since that moment, Tarik Skubal has only allowed a base hit, double to Fletcher. He has struck out 4 tonight. Upton, Iglesias, and Adell here in the Angels' half of the fourth. That one squirted out of his hands.
He really slowed down on his delivery. He hasn't thrown many of his knuckle curves today. That's a delivery of a pitch you haven't used a whole lot. Guided it in there.
Got him. 5 strikeouts for Skubal. Look at the look on J-Up's face. Like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
He dropped a really good changeup on him. Batters is 196 versus his changeup. Coming in the game with 17 strikeouts, a whiff percentage of 46.7 on his changeup. That's a really good changeup.
And Iglesias takes a strike. Skubal was drafted by the Diamondbacks in 2017 in the 27th round. Stayed in and came back as a 9th rounder the following year by the Tigers. He has had a very good rookie season, as you can see. He's got an interesting kind of athletic background, too. This is a guy who, despite a baseball pedigree, wanted to play high school football his senior year. He was 6'3", 240 as a senior. So, you know, most guys who pitch, most guys who play a skill and have a game other than football in them, you might vision him as a running back, a tight end, a wide out. He was a center. And his dad said at the time he's never been more nervous, knowing that the guy had a future in baseball ahead of him, and you're putting him right in harm's way, snapping pigskins 60 times a night.
Hey, wasn't Clayton Kershaw a center in his high school football team down in Texas, too?
He was.
Yeah. Stafford was his quarterback, right?
That's right.
Wow. That's good protection.
Iglesias bounces it into the shift for out number 2. So 2 gone, bases empty for Joe Adell, the subject of our Kia player profile tonight. 22 years and coming up with a grand slam yesterday puts him on this list. Youngest in franchise history to hit a slam, and only Mike Trout younger at 21 years and change. Dick Schofield's on the list, Casey Kochman, Buck Rogers. That really spans franchise history. Ball and no strikes to Adell. Skubal's tried to jam him all night. Struck him out that way in the second.
By the way, last night was the first game that Joe's dad saw him play in person in the major leagues. That's a pretty nice one.
Really?
That's a pretty nice one to see. How about that?
Oh, man, you bet.
And his grandpa was there. You don't imagine how much fun. Well, Joe had a lot of fun. You can imagine Dad and Grandpa how much fun they had in the stands.
High changeup gets him to ground to shortstop and retire the side. A 1-2-3 fourth for Tarek Skubal. Still 2-0 Angels. Fourth, and Miguel Cabrera leads things off for the Tigers. Cabrera, Candelario, and Castro. And the watch to 500 starts in earnest once again. Folks on their feet in Detroit. A ground ball to third. Mayfield's up with it. And Ohtani takes care of Cabrera on one pitch.
Boy, he does not swing at the first pitch all that often. His batting average under 150 when he puts the first pitch in play. Rolled over on that one, and another quick out with a cutter for Shohei.
Shohei has done such a good job limiting slug this year. I mean, the guy's allowed only 7 homers in this day and age of launch angle and 3 true outcomes. Almost 100 innings of work and only 7 home runs. Here's Candelario now. He shortens up and takes a strike. Ohtani by far the Angels pitching leader, not just in terms of limiting slug, but across the board. 2.93 ERA. That is 0.69 points lower than the next best ERA on the staff, that of Patrick Sandoval. Oh, 2.
Just how quiet he is on the pitching rubber now, Matt. How under control pitching from the stretch exclusively. You see how strong his shoulders are, how he keeps that front shoulder in as long as possible as he delivers the baseball.
You know, at the end of the day, really, there aren't too many staffs in the American League, Gooby, who have one guy that leads the team in ERA, strikeouts, OPS allowed, and quality starts. Only 4 teams can say that, where they have one guy who is truly the ace, leading them in all 4 of those categories. And Ohtani and the Angels are one of those teams.
It's phenomenal, the transition, what we're seeing from the hard thrower, at times wild on the mound, a lot of splitters, to what he's turned into now as far as a pitcher.
Some more on the rarity of what Ohtani has brought this year. Leads Angels hitters, of course, leads all hitters with 39 homers. Leads the Angels staff in strikeouts. Last to lead the team in both Walter Johnson, who hit 1 homer for the 1918 Washington team.
1 home run. That's awesome.
Ohtani's there covering, and there are 2 away.
I'm going to lead the team in home runs with 1. That's awesome.
You're talking about a misleading stat. You could win a couple of bucks around the water cooler with that one.
Yeah, you would win a lot. By the way, 6 outs via a ground ball today for Shohei. That's that transformation from a pitcher that got a ton of strikeouts, and he still gets the strikeouts. But he gets the strikeouts when he needs them. He gets those quick outs with his secondary pitches.
Here's Harold Castro now. He's singled in the second. He's averaging 12 pitches an inning tonight. And he's doing this, Gooby, against a lineup that is a good grinder. Only the Seattle Mariners and New York Yankees average more pitches per plate appearance than the Tigers. And Ohtani's getting through them quickly.
How about that? 2 innings of 7 pitches. That used to feel like Shohei with those 7 pitches to almost every batter. That's using that splitter.
I mean, look, as much as we love his splitter and we love watching the swing and miss and the big double-digit strikeout total, the expedited version of Ohtani, the quick outs guy, is just as much fun to watch. Here's the 1-1.
And he can still bring that fastball when he needs it. Here's the time you might see a split.
Yeah, thinking the same thing. Ball and 2 strikes the count to Harold Castro. And he just got a piece of 1.
You can tell the humidity there tonight in Detroit. Shohei Ohtani, a little bit of a sweat going.
He gets a pretty good gravy under that hat. I mean, there haven't been too many dry nights for Shohei. Still the ball and 2 strikes to Harold Castro.
Wow.
He got him.
Well, that's
broke out a nasty one there.
Wow, the split was ridiculous on that one.
That had teeth and spikes coming out of it. 3 strikeouts for Ohtani. Still 2-0 Angels. To buy your tickets to upcoming games, including exciting matchups, giveaways, and more And yeah, the team is on the road for a long road trip, longest of the year. But the Angels will be back in Southern California at the end of the month. A really nice homestand coming up. 2 with the Padres, 3 with the Yankees, and 4 with the Texas Rangers starting on August 27th. Here's Brandon Marsh leading things off in the Halos half of the 5th.
Keep looking at the way the defensive alignment against Brandon Marsh has set up a tough lefty. You would think he might be thinking about a bunt down the third base line, but now with a 2-0 count, you're thinking about driving it.
2 balls and a strike to count to Marsh. A couple of hits yesterday for Brandon, a double and an RBI. Well, speaking of the Padres, Gooby, some people that are worried about their tenuous foothold on the wild card in the National League.
Yeah, Cincinnati is breathing down their neck.
Pods lost in Denver today. Fly ball out to center field, handled by Victor Reyes. 1 gone. How about a quick word from Kia?
It's summer, so wherever you get out and go, you can count on a Kia to take you there.
Yeah, the Padres.
Stassi.
Sorry, Matt. Padres are only up by a game and a half over Cincinnati right now. A game and a half.
Yeah, they got some help from the Cubs, who earned a rare win today. A 7-1 victory against the Reds. The only thing that's lock and key right now in baseball, if you ask me, is the AL Central, where I don't see the White Sox getting caught. They're too good. It's too big a lead. The rest of the division is a little uneven. I don't know. Everywhere else, it feels like it's going to be live down to the end of the year.
Oh, exactly. And the White Sox are getting some of their big boppers back. Jimenez, Robert back.
Called strike 3 taken by Stassi, who thought that pitch was a little up. Dare I say, I might agree with him. That's 6 for Skubal tonight.
Yeah, I thought that was just above the strike zone. Went fastball upstairs. Yes, it's about at least a half a baseball above, but as a catcher, you're frustrated, but you go, okay, I want that call for my pitcher on the mound. That's why you don't want your catcher to say too much to the home plate umpire, because you might need that call down the road.
Jack Mayfield is bunting. Skubal gets to it. Throw to first is in time to get him. Skubal spiked the throw, but a good play by Renato Nunez, and Mayfield's hobbling a bit at first base. Turns into a quick 1-2-3/5, 7 in a row set down by Skubal. As Jack Mayfield will get some attention after a very close play at first base.
Did he have control? It looked like he was able to control, not initially. Is it worth taking a look at? Did he have that baseball in his glove? I think they might take a look. A little bit of a bobble at first. Reason why, because it gives Shohei Ohtani a chance to come up the bat with the man on.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. Ordinarily, you know, are you going to burn a challenge for your number 9 hitter to get on base with 2 out? Probably not. And the phone's not working now.
Hello, bullpen.
Mike Gallego's going to the walkie-talkie now, and this isn't working. Tech manager, please. Well, if they wanted to challenge, it's too late now.
Oh, hey. That call. I'm texting you right now, Matt. I'm thinking, you know what? I think I got to let that one go. I think there was control enough at first base not to take that chance to challenge it. Mayfield looks like he's out. Phone's not working. I'm trying to text Mike Gallego, but he's not answering me. Hello?
Can I get a dial tone? I thought I had unlimited minutes here.
Yes.
Operator?
We go way back. How come you're not answering me? I say don't challenge. Don't challenge.
Renato Nunez leads things off in the home fifth. 2-0 Angels. A 2-run homer by Justin Upton has held up so far. And another first pitch breaking ball for a strike. Nunez grounded into a double play. 1 of 2 turned behind Ohtani tonight. 6, 7, 8 part of the order for the Tigers in the fifth. It's a chase on the breaking ball.
It's one of those times now, if you're Shohei, you see a swing like that, you got to get him to chase something well out of the strike zone.
You triple up on the slider?
Yes, off the plate even further.
He did. Broke his bat. Still 0-2.
The only reason why he made any contact was up enough for him to make contact with it. If it was down, he misses that by a lot. Well, that's not the contact he necessarily wanted. That could have been his gamer he's had for a while. Shatter the bat.
Renato Nunez had some pretty nice moments with the Orioles the past couple of years. Baltimore decided not to bring him back, signed as a free agent by the Tigers, has spent most of his year at AAA Toledo this season, and is a strikeout victim here.
Splitter got him. He goes, I just want to remind you guys I still have my splitter. I think that's his 3rd strikeout with his splitter tonight. 3 of 4 strikeouts. Splitter. That's 58 strikeouts on the year with a split finger fastball.
So he's thrown 6 of them tonight. 4 whiffs, a ground out, and a pop-up. Here's Willie Castro now. He's been a strikeout victim tonight. For Ohtani, 9 of his last 10 outs have come via the ground ball or the strikeout. Uh-oh. There's one that leaves the ballpark. Willie Castro gets him to make it a 1-run game. Just the 8th homer allowed all year by Shohei Ohtani.
And that was a curveball he hit out. The interesting thing, Shohei Ohtani has now allowed 8 home runs this year, 4 versus his curveball.
Well, give Willie Castro credit, right? He's been watching Ohtani steal strikes with first pitch curveballs. Oh, he's teed off on that.
Yeah, he stayed back, was guessing, brought his hands in, and well, you talk about a launch angle. He lifted that one out and went a long, long way.
A strike on a fastball to Grayson Grinder. I think at least 3 of the last 4 plate appearances, Shohei had started them with curveballs, and Castro was up there looking for that. About the numbers we just showed you, though, is it's now 1-1 on Grinder. He's hit 39 of them himself, has Ohtani, and he's allowed only 8. So if we're doing our math, plus 31 in the homers, I'll take it.
Yes.
One. Strike on the breaking ball.
And he's never fazed by a hit like that against him. Castro did what you're supposed to do. When you get a hanging breaking ball, a curveball like that, hit it out, just move forward right away.
One-two pitch. Got him swinging, made him chase that slider, and that's 5 strikeouts for Ohtani tonight. At the start of the ball game, Ohtani's home run per 9 ratio at .68 was the second best in the American League. I mean, not only does he not give up homers, he doesn't even give up a lot of fly balls. And he'll get out of the inning here with a ground ball for Gosselin. The Tigers do strike for their first run of the game on the Willie Castro solo shot. We played 5 complete in Detroit, 2-1 Angels. Cam replay. Let's take you back to the 2000 season. Angels Hall of Famer Tim Salmon, career homer number 223 off Roger Clemens in Yankee Stadium, of all places, past Brian Downing to become the franchise all-time home run leader. Tim would end his career with 299, since passed by Mike Trout. Big day for Tim Salmon 21 years ago today. Here's Ohtani leading things off against Skubal in the 6th. We welcome you back with Mark Gubazon, Jose Mota, Matt Vasgersian. This has been an entertaining game to watch. Both starting pitchers in control. All 3 runs via the homer. 2-run shot by Justin Upton, and a solo home run last half inning by Willie Castro. Shohei flying up the line, almost beat that out.
Man, he was so fast covering first base to finish off the inning. I guess he really wanted to get in there to swing the bat, but this ground ball to second tried to beat that one out.
Here's David Fletcher now. He had a 2-out double in the 3rd. Another ground ball to the right side of the infield, and 2 quick outs for Skubal in the 6th. Stay tuned during the 7th inning stretch for the Hyundai Game Break with Kent French. A little taste of what's coming up on Angels Live right after play-by-play tonight.
Real quick inning going by Skubal. You might have to have a long at bat here for Phil Gosselin to give Shohei a little bit of a breather.
9 in a row set down by Skubal. Last base runner was Fletcher when he doubled in the 3rd. Gosselin has singled and flied to right tonight. Skubal's long innings have been 7, and he did that against the Astros at the end of June. His season high pitch count's just over 100, 103. I mean, look, the Tigers want to preserve guys like he and Mize, but he has been next to dominant tonight. One mistake. 1-2.
And even we know how good this fastball is. His changeup is really, really solid. That's another good changeup he threw there to Goslin. And he's going to try to paint a fastball away.
He does. He makes Goslin chop it to first, and Skubal can't handle the feed from Nunez. Phil's safe at the bag.
I think even if he catches that one, I think Goslin is going to beat that. He gets down the line very, very fast. Goslin's not a base stealer, but he runs the bases really, really quick down the first.
And we've talked about his wheels before. He qualifies as one of the fastest Angels on the roster, and that's even with guys like Marsh and Adele up on the big league group this year.
Well, I'll be ready first pitch if I'm Upton. When you make a mistake like that as a pitcher, you have a chance to make a mistake.
First pitch fastball is in for a strike. Career RBIs 997 and 998 for Upton after his 2-run homer. Oh, and 2.
Staying away, fastball away, backdoor slider. That's really impressive for a young pitcher. If you don't catch a throw from your first baseman, you think, okay, a negative thought creeps in, but he's made 2 really good pitches since then.
Ball and 2 strikes, the count to Justin Upton. We got that number backed up, by the way, Gooby, that Phil Goslin is the 3rd fastest Angel on the roster. Trout, Adele, Goslin.
Wow.
In terms of sprint speed, yeah. Two balls and 2 strikes. Freddie Knight.
Love that ballpark.
Staying light late. As per usual, summertime in Michigan. And Jay up waves and misses. 2 out, base runner left stranded. 6 strong innings from Tarek Skubal, yet the Angels continue to lead 2-1. Through 5 innings in this start, continuing what he started in the beginning of July. He has been outstanding all year, but really specifically since the start of the season's 4th month. 4-0 that month with an ERA of 1.69 and great through 5 innings tonight, leading by a run. As we welcome you back, top of the 6th inning. Check that bottom of the 6th inning for Grossman, Schoop, and Cabrera. First pitch fastball at 98, his firmest of the night, is in for a strike.
That seems to be the pattern. The 6th and 7th inning, all of a sudden you look up 98, 99. He even touched 100 at one game. The last pitch is 99th pitch of the game.
Tigers leadoff hitter is 0 for 2 tonight, 1 for 6 in the series. And it's a ball and a strike. You know, the Angels tonight are trying to do something that they haven't done since early June. And that's win the first 2 games of a road series. Victory last night after the big top of the 9th. Ball and a strike to Grossman. Sharply hit to David Fletcher at second, who's been busy tonight. Let's walk you through Shohei's night tonight so far.
Boy, this is a great assortment of all his different pitches. Whether it's a splitter there, they get a strikeout. He's used his fastball. Got that splitter working today with 3 of his 4 punchies on that. Slider's been very good. Cutter off the plate, slider off the plate. That last pitch, by the way, 99 miles an hour.
One gone for Jonathan Schoop, who has struck out and popped out tonight. Check that, singled and popped out.
It's the exact same pitch. He got him to pop up. Last at bat, fastball in, but this one, instead of being 94, was 98.
Think of so many great ones that didn't find that bigger gear until the middle innings. Justin Verlander comes to mind only because we're in Detroit. Dave Stewart was like that. Frank Viola was like that. I mean, the landscape is littered, as they say, with the great ones who really got it cranked up in the middle of the game.
Yeah, I like you bring up Dave Stewart was great. That first inning, if you were going to score against Stu, it had to be in the first inning. That he would just have a feel for his fastball. Threw a lot of fastballs in the first, didn't use that split and all his secondary pitches, but then all of a sudden it was done. Speaking of being done.
A wild swing and miss by Schoop. 6 strikeouts for Ohtani. Well, what the fans have paid to see tonight, and they've been doing this for the last few nights, as a part of this homestand, the 500 home run tour, if you will, there have been collective crowds of over 80,000 fans here at Comerica Park, and they're here to see number 500. There's another opportunity with 2 gone in the 6th. Cabrera has singled and grounded to third tonight. Offers at the first pitch again. Talked about how rare it was when he made a first pitch out in his last at-bat, Gooby. He's up there aggressive tonight.
I think he doesn't want to deal with the secondary pitches, whether it's a splitter or that nasty slider against Shohei. They're seeing, the hitters, that he throws his break a ball in the strike zone first pitch, so maybe that's your best chance, or fastball, but after that he expands the strike zone and gets some chases.
Well, that might have been his best chance. 98 center cut. He's behind 0-2. It's a rare feat, and we haven't seen it done since David Ortiz joined the club 6 years ago.
Fortunate enough to be around for 2 of those, Albert Pujols and Jim Thome.
Thome's, as we mentioned, came against the Angels in September of '07. It's 0-2 to Cabrera.
Wow.
And Ohtani strikes him out on 3 pitches, 7 for Shohei tonight. And number 500 is on ice yet again. Still 2-1 Angels. And Shohei Ohtani are really putting on a pitching clinic tonight in Game 2 of this series in Detroit. Welcome back. Top of the 7th inning. Iglesias, Adell, and Marsh for the Angels. 7 strikeouts for Shohei Ohtani. 8 for Skubal. And not a lot of activity on base. There has not been a single walk issued in this game tonight, most refreshingly. And it's 1-1 to Iglesias.
And you got 2 starting pitchers that are aggressive, throwing strikes, but working extremely fast.
Right back to Skubal, fielding his position nicely. Showing off one of his tools, the defense. It's time for our Jeep Tools of the Trade. Let's walk you through the Tiger lefty's night.
Well, he's been using his slider, his changeup, his curveball. He's got a good fastball work, and I like his slider upstairs. His changeup is excellent. Was coming in at 98 against Upton. Very, very impressive outing so far for Skubal.
So, guys celebrating his 1-year anniversary of his call-up. And he's 2 outs away from matching his career innings high. Here's Joe Adell. Boy, has he tried to crowd Joe or what? Every one of the first pitches he's seen, 3 of them, have been fastballs in on his hands.
Yeah, he saw that swing from a lefty last night at Soto, 97, but he got his arms extended. He's going to try to avoid that.
1-1. And Adell chops it to third base for Candelario. Boy, he almost beat that out. He wants another look. That looked awfully close. He was flying up the line.
He's down there. Here's a guy that hit a ball 416 feet yesterday, flying down the line.
Oh, I think he beat
got it. Yeah, I think he did. The long stride, foot on the base. He's safe on that one.
They better get that phone working.
I'm texting Mike Gallego right now, Ryan Garco. He's safe, he's safe.
They are going to review it, so I guess they repaired the phone line. And as far as we're concerned, this one's going to be overturned, and Joe's going to be safe at first base.
Well, he was motoring down the line. Well, this is quick.
Yeah, it was that clear. All right. I usually am one to think that when the player says, you know, does the headset motion, that the player is usually wrong, that it's just well-intentioned competitiveness. But Joe was absolutely right on that occasion.
30.3 feet per second. Elite speed down the line. The average MLB player, 27 feet per second.
Elite. Yeah, you get a 30, elite. Here's Marsh now.
How about all the tools we've seen over the last 2 nights for Joe Adell? Power, 416 grand slam, the throw in right, showing the arm strength, and now the speed going down the line to beat that infield hit out.
Boy, as much as you'd love to get Adell to second, Marsh looks bunt. It's dicey to try to run here. Not only do you have a left-hander on the mound with what we've seen as a pretty good move, but Grayson Greiner has thrown out 3 of 9 this month.
And his pop time last time, he almost got Shohei the first time, got him the second time around under 2 seconds. So he's very quick behind the plate.
And he's huge, too. Greiner is huge. I mean, he looks like a giant back there.
Must be mandatory for catchers to be huge. Lance Parrish was another one.
Yeah. He's listed in the Tigers media guide at 6'6". Oh, and 2 the count to Marsh. And Brandon lines it into right field. Success on an 0-2 pitch. Adell to the next station.
The 2 kids, the 2 best friends, base hits here in the 7th.
Boy, let me tell you how rare 2-strike hits have been for the Angels the last couple of weeks. As you take a look at that again by Adell, or by Marsh rather.
Boy, Matt, he's done a real nice job as far as adjusting on pitches upstairs. Just a couple weeks ago, pitches were getting fastballs by Brandon Marsh consistently up there. Now his hand's a little quieter, quicker through the baseball. It's a base hit with 2 strikes on him.
So a chance for Max Stassi now with runners at first and second and 1 gone. And I know this gets a little eggheady, so bear with me here. Allow me to indulge.
So I call you Vincent Price then, egghead from the Bill Batman?
Yeah, I found this interesting when I was kind of digging around on stuff today on this game. So the Angels over the last 2 weeks have hit a major league low 122 with 2 strikes. And when you look at the raw numbers over the last 2 weeks, 262 2-strike at-bats and only 32 hits.
Wow.
So what Marsh just did is rare and appreciated, especially when you consider it was 0-2. But over the long haul, and this is where it's weird, Gooby, the Angels have been one of the better 2-strike hitting teams in all of baseball. It's just the last 2 weeks things have gone south.
And a lot of hitters pressing now. Instead of this, that good compact swing, big part of the field approach.
1-2 to Stassi. Swings through a fastball. Ball and 2 strikes. I also think it might be a function of the younger guys getting a chance to play. Everyday plate appearances for guys like Adell and Marsh, who are still feeling their way through major league pitching. Let's see if Stassi can come through on a 2-strike count. There goes Adell, and it's fouled away. Sent both of them.
That's a pretty good speed on the bases. You have a better chance to steal third against a lefty like Skubal because he's not going to look too often back to second. As a trail runner, you can get a bigger lead at first base and well off the bag. So you wait and see for the timing of Joe Adell going. He had a huge jump.
Still 1 ball and 2 strikes to Max Stassi. 2-2 now. flip the scorecard over, and the Tigers will have the middle of their order in the 7th. And Ohtani still with a really reasonable pitch count. There's no reason to expect that you can't get 7 from Shohei tonight. Shorten the bridge to Iglesias. And the pathway to a win is starting to reveal itself. On the ground is shortstop. And the long throw across to Nunez is in time to get Stassi. Good play by Castro that time.
Yeah, he did a nice job, first of all, getting to that baseball, knowing that he's got at the very least, keep that in the infield, and then a strong throw to get Stassi at first base. It looks like they're going down to the bullpen now.
We will have our first pitching change of the ball game as A.J. Hinch is going to his bullpen with 2 out and 2 on in the 7th in a 1-run game in Detroit. We'll be right back. Baseball on Valley Sports is brought to you by Hyundai. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event is going on now with summer-only savings on all models. Visit buyhyundai.com today. By Jack in the Box. Try our new $3.50 spicy tiny tacos and our $4.50 loaded spicy tiny tacos only at Jack in the Box or get them delivered. And by your Southern California Cadillac dealers. Big moment in the game tonight with a 1-run game on the scoreboard on a really nice night for baseball in Detroit. Tarik Skubal was terrific through 6 2/3. He exits trailing by a run, however, for the hard-throwing right-hander Jose Cisnero. Cisnero had a dominant relief outing yesterday. And the Angels saw firsthand the velo this guy has. Average fastball velocity of nearly 97 miles an hour.
And he's got a good curveball and slider, occasional changeup. 4 wild pitches this year with that slider, curveball in the dirt.
Ball and a strike to count to Jack Mayfield, who is 0 for 2 tonight. Adele at third. Marsh the runner at second. Each of them aboard on base hits here that came with 1 out. Jack Mayfield looking for that insurance knock. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Angels are a top half team with runners in scoring position. They rank 12th in all of baseball at 257. And as good as the Angels have been in 1-run games, in fact, they have the best winning percentage in baseball in 1-run affairs. It certainly loves some late insurance here tonight.
Yeah, he's going to either get a high fastball here from Cisnero or another slider down. Try to punch that with the right.
Yeah, the high fastball got him. Two runners left stranded. 7th inning stretch in Detroit. Still a 1-run Angels lead. It's time for the Hyundai game break as we send it back to Angel Stadium in Kent French.
Matty, thank you very much. Outside the Diamond Club, Kent French with you. Well, certainly an exciting one in Detroit, but a lot of games on the docket across Major League Baseball, and there was some late inning theatrics in Minnesota. To Minnesota we go. Jorge Polanco, bases loaded, bottom of the 11th inning. That is your game winner. 8-7, your final. Polanco drove in the game-winning run for the 3rd time his last 4 games. He's got 5 walk-off RBIs this season, tying the club record set by Kent Hrbek back in 1987. Polanco, a game-winning machine, and those Cleveland Indians next on the schedule for your Halos. Certainly a lot of fun to watch there in Minnesota and also in Detroit. Angels ahead right now of Detroit, hanging on to a 2-1 lead. Before, though, we get back up to the guys for the bottom of the 7th inning, here is a message from Hyundai.
Mobile coverage cam as we welcome you back to Comerica. Like Bob Seger used to sing, summertime in southern Michigan. Beautiful night for baseball and a big crowd. Been treated to a great pitching performance tonight. Maybe not necessarily what they came for, because with 499 career homers, Miguel Cabrera has teased folks into thinking tonight might be the night. It's going to come one of these nights, probably sooner rather than later. We just hope it comes after the Angels have slid out of town. And it's a 1-run lead for Shohei Ohtani, who'll go back to work with 7 strikeouts on his line tonight. They'll get Candelario, Castro, and Nunez, middle of the order here in the 7th.
64 pitches for Shohei. That's less than 11 pitches per inning to this point for Ohtani.
No walks. He's only thrown 12 balls tonight. Candelario has had his trouble with him, 0 for 2, including a double play ball. Tigers' third baseman hitless in the series so far, 0 for 6, and behind 0-1.
And the trend continues. They are up swinging a lot at the first pitch. Even Cabrera's done that a couple times tonight for the Tigers.
I think the reputation of the splitter is benefiting Shohei more than the actual pitch, because as we've talked about a lot, he's not throwing it as frequently, but it is so firmly entrenched in the minds of every opposing hitter. These guys are on their iPads, they're watching video before games like tonight, and it's in there, the thought that they're going to get splitted.
And the thing with his splitter, Matt, he throws that pitch before that backdoor slider was a splitter. He tries to throw that one splitter for a strike. And then when he gets ahead with 2 strikes, then he throws that devastating splitter for a strikeout.
It's a good take, 3 balls and a strike, and a rare occasion in which Ohtani has been behind in the count. I've been waiting to use this stat all night, Gooby. The Tigers chase at a 27% rate when they're ahead in the count. That time Candelario sends a ball out to center. Big out here even after they brought the fences in some 10 years ago.
Yeah, if you could keep that baseball in that part of the field, you feel pretty good about being caught. Now let's take a look at our play sense presented by Frontier, what Shohei has been able to do. 4-seam fastball upstairs, 93. Gets a swing on it. And then the splitter at 87, this drops, looks like a strike, well below the strike zone. That is nasty. Another splitter at 87, looks like a strike. You're committed, and then you chase well out of the strike zone for Shohei. Look how much that splitter dropped. That's incredible, those two.
Here's Harold Castro. 98-mile-an-hour fastball gets Ohtani in front.
Another first pitch swing, and a little grunt behind that 98 from Shohei.
One and one. Ohtani has faced 23 batters tonight. 17 first pitch strikes. And Castro bounces it to Fletcher. 2 gone.
It's another 98-mile-an-hour fastball hit on the ground. Nine outs be his ground ball, including a ground ball double play in the second.
Ohtani's career long has been 7 2/3, and he did that back in 2018. He's an out away from going 7 complete tonight. And here's Renato Nunez.
That's a look at like, wow, he was grunting on that with a 98 inside, like, whoa.
You know, even with Ohtani, the Angels are getting barely 5 innings of work on average from starters this year. But believe it or not, that number ranks 5th best in baseball. Just over 5 innings. Only Seattle, Houston, Cleveland, and Toronto get longer outings than the Angels.
Well, he is raring back and throwing everything with everything behind his sliders, fastball. How competitive is Shohei Ohtani?
Is that the grunt that indicates this is the finish line here?
Usually that does mean that, but I mean, his pitch count is good. I mean, but still, you can have 75, 76 pitches. I mean, every one of these pitches have to be perfect tonight with a 2-1 lead. It's not like he's out there just kind of cruising along with a 7-run lead. It's been tight.
I mean, there's nobody up in the bullpen behind him, nor should there be. A ball and 2 strikes on Renato Nunez. Off the end of the bat, he flicks it into left field, a base hit.
Well, he did a nice job of staying back. Nunez on that slider, just enough on it to get that into the outfield. I mean, Shohei thought he made the good pitch. That's about 4 baseballs off the plate towards the end of the bat. That's how strong Nunez is to be able to fight that one into the outfield for a base hit. See how quickly Shohei adjusts here with Castro coming to the plate. You remember he hit a curveball out against some first pitch.
5 singles and a homer tonight for the Detroit lineup. And here's the guy that homered, as you mentioned, Gooby, Willie Castro. His 8th of the year came in the 5th inning, the lone run of the game for the Tigers.
I think Shohei remembers that. First pitch at 98.
Man. 98 at his knees. Tying run on base with 2 gone. Another one in there, and this time Castro lays off.
And the movement on that 4-seam fastball, that's almost like a hard cutter. That is a legit moving 4-seam fastball.
Day game tomorrow, and you know, we've done this before, Gooby. I'm not going to guess whether or not he's going to be in there tomorrow, because he usually is. This is turning into some, these are stress innings here, as you mentioned, with the 1-run lead and the tying run on.
It's going backdoor slider. Because it looked like Stassi wanted him to throw a split. And that long hold, maybe Ohtani's rethinking what he wants to throw here now. Looked like he went right back to it, maybe backdoor slider.
1-1. Ball and 2 strikes.
Now he's got him set up for the split.
He always pitches with the dicky on, doesn't he, with the undershirt?
Yep.
I mean, it's hot out there today. I think he's the only dude with sleeves on. Ball and 2 strikes, the count to Castro.
There was a splitter, overthrew it. One pitcher I always remember doing that was, you probably remember the name Dennis Leonard, who was a 20-game winner a number of times with Kansas City. Even those hot days, he always wore sleeves. That way the sweat would go down and get on his fingers, and the baseball would slip out of his hand. And I think that's why you see with Shohei, especially with the number of splitters he throws, he wants to make sure that sweat doesn't work its way to the fingers. Keep the long sleeves.
2-2. To left for Upton to retire the side. Tying run left stranded on base. 7 strong from Ohtani to the 8th, still a 1-run lead. And you can win your own error-free fan experience. Fill out your MLB Oops bracket at MLB.com/bracket for your chance to win. Restrictions apply. See official rules for details. This is a lot of fun. No such thing as a bad blooper.
No, they're never a bad time.
Shohei Ohtani will lead things off in the 8th. It's the top of the order here for the Angels, looking for some late insurance. Ohtani has been brilliant tonight on the mound. 7 strong 1-run innings. He's allowed just 5 singles and a homer, 7 strikeouts. And here we go with Ohtani, the hitter, to start the 8th. Jose Cisnero came on to end the 7th. He struck out Jack Mayfield to strand a pair. Oh, Ohtani got it. He got it. Number 40. A franchise record for left-handed hitters. 3-1 Halos.
Oh, Uncle. Shohei Ohtani, number 40. 7 incredible innings on the mound, and he just mashes a baseball a mile. Hey, is there ever a drop the mic moment in baseball? That might be it right there with that swing for Shohei.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Shower up, start the limo, start chipping away at the bust in Cooperstown. Here we go. Is it too much, too soon? Not for me.
Oh, look at Shohei.
Dude.
That is incredible how far that baseball went. Hey, when you're on the road and the fans are going nuts, that's how incredible it is.
Oh. Oh my goodness. I mean, we are watching one of the most historic seasons in the history of this game. Passing Reggie Jackson, no left-handed hitter has ever hit more homers in franchise history than Shohei Ohtani, his major league leading 40th. Chopper off to bat at David Fletcher for Castro, and that's the first out here in the 8th.
It's really just hard to describe how incredible Shohei Ohtani is. Staying back, gets a slider and the lift on that baseball, and look at everyone jump up to see how far this goes. And the scramble to get that baseball. Jose Iglesias always there to greet Shohei. Wow.
He might not be done on the mound, Gooby.
You might be right.
He's still got the game face on. Not to mention there's nobody up behind him. One gone for Phil Gosselin. Take the night off, boys.
Yep.
We'll get Mr. Iglesias up in the 9th. The rest of you guys have a pizza. You know, we made the case earlier and laid out the fact that Ohtani is the most invaluable starter on the staff, right? The fact that he's one of only 4 starters in the American League that leads his team in ERA, strikeouts, OPS against, and quality starts. As a hitter, he's one of only 3 players on an American League team that leads his club in homers, RBIs, stolen bases, and total bases. Ken French was talking about Jorge Polanco. He's one of them. And Jose Ramirez of the Indians is the other, and we'll see Ramirez coming up this weekend. I mean, I know that we do this all the time and we sound like a broken record talking about the value of Shohei Ohtani, but there is no comp in baseball.
None.
Here's Upton now with 2 gone. Early start tomorrow, 10 a.m. Southern California time. Patrick Sandoval for the Angels and former first-rounder Matt Manning on the mound for the Tigers. That's rolled out to third for Candelario. Nothing further but a 430-foot homer. Shohei Ohtani's major league leading 40th of the year has made it a 3-1 Angels lead. Angels looking. It has been the Shohei Ohtani Show in Detroit tonight. We welcome you back. Ohtani having hit a 430-foot homer to ensure a one-run lead and make it a 3-1 game, is back to work on the mound in the 8th. And he'll draw the 8, 9, then top of the order hitters for the Tigers. 3-1 Angels. A couple of changes defensively as Griner checks his swing. I'll set those changes for you in a moment. Popped up into shallow right for Joe Adell, and there is one away. Juan Lagares takes over for Justin Upton in left field, and Jared Walsh takes over for Phil Gosselin at first base. So Joe Maddon getting tighter defensively here in the late stages of the game. And I want to correct myself from the starting assignment for tomorrow's game, because Patrick Sandoval was placed on the IL today, as we knew. And I was looking at something that was outdated, so my apologies for that. Patrick dealing with that stress fracture, a lumbar spine stress fracture, and the IL stint was retroed to the 15th. So tomorrow's starting assignment is to be determined.
Still
hearing Jose Quintana.
Yeah, Jose Quintana tomorrow.
Okay. A ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, but that cutter at 90, everything's a little firmer now. Fastball 97, 98, 99. The cutter, which was around 83 to 85, is now 90. Splitter's been around 87. Chance to drop a splitter now.
Oh, instead just a 98-mile-an-hour aspirin tablet.
Somewhere Noel Ryan's looking at this game and going, I like that. This rushes a fastball with some movement at 98. Four-seamer. Boy, that's some movement. Wow. That's a look out from a hitter going, whoa, I didn't know you had that one still.
8 strikeouts for Ohtani. He has matched his career long with 7 2/3 innings of work. And now it's Robbie Grossman who's 0 for 3 tonight.
Backdoor slider for a strike.
I mean, he's still thrown fewer than 90 pitches tonight. Is Iglesias up yet or not? Is there a chance we go CG? If we get CG tonight from Shohei, he'll break the internet. He will break Twitter tonight. .90 pitches will get him through 8.
Wow. That gives him 100 innings pitched this year, Matt. 120 strikeouts and 40 home runs. Pretty good year.
For just the second time in his pitching career, went into the 8th inning, and he completed 8 with minimal effort, got through the side in order. He has allowed just the 1 earned run tonight on the solo homer by Willie Castro, has not walked a batter, and has struck out 8. A truly dominant performance tonight.
Absolutely incredible what he has done, and he still looks like he's ready to roll.
New pitcher for the Tigers is a veteran right-hander Erasmo Ramirez. Jose Iglesias leads things off for the Iglesias, Adele, and Marsh. Ramirez last worked 3 days ago. 2 innings of relief against the Indians. Nice backhanded play by Scope. Throw to first gets Iglesias.
Well, that was a real good swing, but a better defensive play. Scope able to run that one down. Iglesias used to doing that to so many different hitters. But that's a real good swing from Jose Iglesias.
1 gone in the top of the 9th. Now a quick word from Hyundai.
Head to your Hyundai dealer today, where new vehicles are arriving daily. Hey, it's your journey. Own it.
Here's Joe Adele, 1 for 3 tonight so far. Grand slam yesterday, 1-out single tonight. You know, with Miguel Cabrera chasing 500 homers as Joe takes a strike to fall behind 0-2. It's interesting to note that Adele needed just 52 games to notch his first career grand slam. Miguel Cabrera, who's on the verge of 500 homers, didn't hit his first grand slam until his 706th game in the big leagues. And Adele's rung up on 3 pitches.
And I think we can be safe to say Shohei Ohtani's been great on the mound today, but you go back to what Joe Adele did in the first inning. Ran down that fly ball, and that quick throw into the infield resulted in a double play. Tigers had 2 on in that inning. Ends up being a double play, and then Shohei on cruise control from that point forward. You always need a defensive play like that to get you rolling.
2 quick outs for Ramirez, and now it's Brandon Marsh, who also singled back in the 7th. It came on an 0-2 pitch. Well, the Angels bullpen is busy. The closer's up. Raisel Iglesias is throwing, and his you know, as fans, as neat as it would be to watch Shohei try to finish tonight, you certainly understand the decision to go to one of the game's best closers and seal this one up in the 9th.
And you just go back to how many pitches Shohei has thrown the last 5-6 games. 96, 99, 86, 99, 89. So he's right around that mark right now going into the 9th inning if he went back out there. So I think Joe Maddon's going to go to the bullpen.
Yeah, I agree. Ball and 2 strikes, the count to Marsh. Two gone, bases empty, top half of the 9th. And Marsh swings and misses. It bounces off the backstop. Griner throws down to finish the out. And Erasmo Ramirez gets the Angels in order in the 9th. 3 outs away. Tonight has included a homer and 8 dominant innings on the mound. His career long, it includes 8 strikeouts this evening. He set the tone early by pitching out of a first inning jam with the help of a double play ball. Didn't break out the splitter until later in the night. His best velocity was saved for second and third time through the order. And with the exception of the Willie Castro homer, the Tigers really never had anything on him. 5 singles and a home run. And Ohtani is in line for win number 8 tonight. It'll be Raisel Iglesias trying to make that happen here in the bottom half of the ninth.
Matt, how competitive was Shohei Ohtani the entire game? In that 6th, 7th, and 8th inning, you hear that grunt on every pitch. And then he hits a mammoth home run. Unbelievable.
A save here from Iglesias would give him a share of the American League lead. With Chicago's Liam Hendricks, 26 for Raisel. He'll get Scope, Cabrera, and Candelario in the 9th. And the fact that Miguel Cabrera will get a 4th plate appearance here in the 9th is the reason everybody is sticking around. I mean, Gooby, you can dream a little bit on Cy Young discussion for Ohtani now. Legitimately, this isn't us being homers.
Yes, I 100% agree. I mean, yeah, he doesn't have the innings of some other starting pitchers, but has anybody been more dominant than him on the mound? It's hard to say anybody's been more dominant.
I mean, he is not the favorite because Carlos Rodon and Lance Lynn have lower ERAs, and if you change the innings threshold to 100, then Shohei would qualify. He does not have the innings to qualify for an ERA title. Swing and a miss, and Scope goes down on 3 pitches, 1 away for Iglesias in the 9th.
And Iglesias really closes out hitters so quickly. When he gets 2 strikes, he finishes them off right away.
Miguel Cabrera tonight has singled, grounded to third, and struck out. Here's the first plate appearance he'll have against somebody other than Ohtani. Three career meetings between these two. A 1-for-3 line for Cabrera with 2 strikeouts, digging in with 499 career homers. First ball swinging as he has been often tonight. That one out to right field. It dies shy of the wall for Adele, and there are 2 away.
Boy, what a reaction by the fans. Outstanding fan base out there in Detroit. And he just missed the reactions. Wow. Got his pitch, that's his swing the other way, and he just missed it. Big out for Raisel Iglesias.
Iglesias 1 out away from wrapping up Shohei Ohtani's 8th win of the year and his 27th save of the season.
Go back to my Hyundai key for the game tonight. Detroit, Rock City. Well, it's been rocking. Shohei providing most of that rocking, but that swing there by Cabrera too. But what a night for Shohei Ohtani. Indescribable.
Jeimer Candelario's hitless in the series, 0 for 7. And it's a ball and a strike from Iglesias. Tigers are down to their final strike tonight. Again, the Angels trying to accomplish something tonight that they haven't been able to do since mid-June. Win the first 2 games of a road series. The noisy 9th inning tonight, part of an 8-2 win. And the Ohtani show in Motown tonight. Two balls and 2 strikes. You know, they used to say of Cecil Fielder when he left Japan to come back to the U.S. and become a star with the Tigers, they used to say he was the first Japanese import to be cheered in the Motor City. I'm not sure they're going to feel the same about Ohtani tonight because he absolutely dominated the home squad. Iglesias saves his 27th. The Angels win the first 2 of the series. Ohtani to 8-1 after a dominant night on both sides of the scorecard. And Joe Maddon and his staff all smiles on the road tonight.
I mean, everybody on that team right now has almost got to be a fan and be astonished at what they saw tonight. Joe Maddon's club wins it. Raisel Iglesias threw the ball great, but Shohei Ohtani, 8 incredible innings, a home run number 40, a mammoth home run, and the Angels win the second game of this 3-game set. It's just hard to describe what Shohei Ohtani continues to do.
Halos back to 500 once again. They improved to 5-1 against the Tigers. Their mastery of the AL